we welcome the passages of this bill if it actually gives good effect to the law.
Honourable David Parker.
Mr Chairman, it's fair to say that part 2 of this legislation is not very long. The major part of this debate, I think I will concede to the Chair, has already occurred in respect of part 1. But adding to the erudite comments of my colleague Damien O'Connor, I am interested to note, to inquire of the Minister what it means in part 2, where we amend the regulations in respect of fee setting to prescribe a class or classes of persons who are exempt from the requirement to pay any fee for an application under Section 58 or for a notice under Section 66 subsection 1 or 67 subsection 1. And I see in the commentary from the Commerce Select Committee, and I didn't have the advantage of sitting on this Select Committee, that consideration was given to removing the regulation-making power to prescribe a class or class of persons who would be exempt from the requirement to pay any fee. But despite that consideration being given to removing the regulation-making power, it was kept, and the reason seems to be that the provision was targeted to the small to medium-sized enterprises sector, and they decided that it was important to retain it. So my question for the Minister and the Chair is, what's the relationship between this this regulation, which is the Section 108, the amendments to Section 108, which are amended by inserting the 2 paragraphs that are referred to in Clause 13 of the bill before us? What's the relationship between those changes and Part 1 of the Act, or the bill, that's already been discussed at some length in this House? Do these fees all relate to instances where now the Commerce Commission is able to cooperate with Commerce Commissions in international jurisdictions where previously they could not cooperate? I think those who were here for earlier parts of the debate would recall that the first part of the bill relates to empowering the Commerce Commission to cooperate with international inquiries that might be going on as to price fixing or cooperative agreements, or whether there are competition concerns arising in particular industries. And until now, the Commerce Commission has lacked the jurisdiction because it hasn't. It's a body of statutory jurisdiction, and therefore it can only do what the statute allows them to do. Until the bill amends that, the Commission hasn't had the power to cooperate in those international inquiries, but through this bill obtains that power. And my question is whether this Part 2 changes in respect of fees is dealing only with fees that arise as a consequence of those new international cooperation, or the new international cooperation that the Commerce Commission will be able to participate in. I suspect, I don't know the answer to that, and that's why I'm asking the Minister to clarify that point. In terms of the period within which it is envisaged that any fee could be refunded, I'm not clear as to whether there's any limit on the fee, limit on the prescribed period, because this says requiring the Commission to refund within a prescribed time. Does that prescribed time get set out in regulations, or is there some limit to that set out in the Principal Act, the Commerce Act 1986? I'm not clear from my reading of this, and it's of course some time since this was considered by the Select Committee. I note that the membership of the Select Committee included a number of former members of this House who are no longer with us: John Boscawen, Hilary Calvert, the Honourable Sir Roger Douglas. None of these people are now with us, and indeed, the only active member of Parliament left with us is the Honourable John Banks. Yeah, that's the man. Whose his experience with international cooperation and fees includes dealing with multinationals, soliciting donations, receiving them in an envelope given to him, but then denying that he had any knowledge that there was a donation, and filing expense returns with the Electoral Commission saying he received no donations except for anonymous ones. Someone else?
The question is, Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to take